Hello there guys, welcome back to Younes Talks Football, welcome back to a brand new video. I hope all of you are doing well today. This is video number 2 out of 2. If you did not catch video number 1 from earlier on today, and it was quite a while ago because we got an early one out today, you can go and check it out right here if you haven't done so already. More focused on a lot of the transfer rumours and what's been happening and whatnot. Today, for the second video, this is going to be a bit different because there's been a big news story at Chelsea Football Club that has dropped tonight, and hence why the upload is a little later than usual, because I've been waiting to try and see what details would come out. But we've got a big piece of news to get through. So before we get cracking into that, make sure you guys are here tomorrow for, once again, another will it be a double upload? I will see if tomorrow will be, I'm not so sure. But going into Friday, etc. Friday will be the preview for the England-Switzerland game, as well as all the latest in the news. So make sure you're here for all the content as it drops. Hit the subscribe button and that notification bell. Let's get cracking. Huge news coming out of Chelsea. Now, just to clarify, there's going to be some people that watch this that go, what? I don't even know who they are. I don't even know what this is. This ain't huge. I appreciate that. Maybe not everyone, maybe especially the new gen fans might not really understand the size, the magnitude of this story. But the old school and everyone that has been supporting for quite some time, that has, an awareness as to what's going on within the club, will know exactly how massive this story is. So we're going to get right into it. Here's the latest coming out of Chelsea. Huge breaking news from Chelsea. Jim Fraser has left Chelsea with Neil Bath set to follow. Chelsea Youth have put it into detail. Jim Fraser has left Chelsea with Neil Bath set to follow amid radical changes to the academy's management structure. The duo established a best-in-class operation with global renown and relentless success for more than 2 decades. This is huge. And I am gutted over this. You can see my demeanor on the second video isn't very happy. I'm not happy one bit with this. This is terrible for Chelsea. Why it's come to this? For both of them to go? Nah, something's happened here. Something's happened here. And I think when you can connect the dots, you begin to realize maybe what has actually gone down. But this is huge, a huge loss. And why? Jim Fraser, right, has been at Chelsea since 2004. Was initially under 18 academy manager, and made his way up, basically, and managed to come up the ladder. He went on to become head of... So in 2022, he was given the new position, right, of head of youth and development. That used to be the position of Neil Bath. Neil Bath was promoted, basically, to director of football development, right? And he would oversee all the academy ongoings from all levels. Basically, he's in charge, right? When you look at Cobham and all the football development that's going on there, Neil Bath is directing all of it. Neil Bath has been at Chelsea for 30 years. He walked in through the door in 1993 and got involved with the academy setup from the get-go. And he got in quite young, because he's not exactly old. He's 58, I think he is now. In terms of management, director, all of that, he's still got loads of time in the game, right? So to see them get promoted to those positions, to now see that they're both gone, just to put it into context, Neil Bath with Jim Fraser below, especially Neil Bath, because Neil Bath at one point was actually running the academy team. Neil Bath with Jim Fraser, they are the sole responsible ones for how successful Cobham became. It's them, especially Neil Bath. I want to say Neil Bath was an instrumental piece of the success of Cobham. From when Roman took over especially, and then had the brand new training ground, Cobham, and the way that it was all built and state of the art, and the levels were upped. When Roman came in, he put investment in the training ground, it just turned into a flipping spaceship, right? Cobham right now is an absolute top training ground. When that happened and the academy started upping its levels, all those talents that were coming through, and not just coming through, but all the trophies we were winning at youth level, we were dominating youth level. That was Neil Bath. That was all Neil Bath, with Jim Fraser, of course. And today, both are gone? Both? Nah. And why this doesn't sit well with me, because some people are going to say, well, maybe he just retired. Nah. Let's go back. Let's revisit. Let's revisit what was said in June of 2022. So the new owners had walked in, right? They'd just come through the door, and Neil Bath is sitting there, and they addressed the academy. Here's what he said. Neil Bath said, we've had the opportunity to set this plan, Vision 2030 project, out to Todd Bowley and the new owners in a series of meetings, during which their feedback and backing has been really positive and encouraging. And as you can see, right, that's, if you can just about see, that's Neil Bath, right, with Petr Cech and Thomas Tuchel, right? And what is 2030? What is Vision 2030? Well, let's get into it. This is the exact agenda of it. Vision 2030, Neil Bath and Jim Fraser have set the Chelsea Academy set up 5 main targets. They are for Academy players to contribute 15% of Chelsea's league minutes, for Academy graduates to make up 25% of their first team squad, to have above national average GCSE and A-level results, to have more Cobham graduates in the professional game than any other academy, and to win more national and international competitions than any other academy. And that was set out in June of 2023. That all came out. June of 2023, that all came out. This time last year. And now both are gone? Nah. What stings about this? We were talking about lack of connection, and when you look at since the owners have walked in, they gutted everything. Emma Hayes has just walked out the door, right? The last bit, the last remaining bit of Roman's Chelsea was Neil Bath and Jim Fraser. They're gone. Now, some people will probably be excited for that. Some people will go, well, yeah, you've got to bring change. Change has got to happen at some point. And yeah, it's got to happen at some point, but it's got to happen in the right circumstances. It doesn't just happen with a flick of a switch. And that's been the story of these owners since they walked in. When they wiped everything out in one go, which was absolutely the wrong move to make. And we can all see that, right? Unless you're in denial. But that's the worst way to begin at a new organization. Just gut everything out, come on. But since then, there's been no stopping. Anything Roman touched has to change. Anything that was part of Roman's setup, you got to go. Instead, to have the transition and allow things to come in smoothly and allow you to learn the ropes and allow you to really understand how things work and then start implementing your changes bit by bit until when it all starts running under how you want to command. That's not what these guys did. They came in and wiped everything out, which is why I always go to the inclination of these guys are thinking business only. And I get criticised for that. Criticise me, I don't care. I'm sticking with that because that is what my gut and what my feeling is completely telling me, and everything that we see in front of our eyes is telling me that they are focused on money first by all means. And if anything's going to hinder that, they're going to cut it out. So we go back to Neil Bath and Jim Fraser. Their Vision 2030 plan interferes with money-making processes, doesn't it? It does. It does for them. Why? Because they're going to go off and do things like this. Chelsea and West Ham have made offers for Wesley from Corinthians. They want 16.9 million. But instead of bringing up the guys from Cobham to then come into the first team and then whatnot and, get that talent through and then try and sell or use or whatever, we've got less and less coming through, right? And you'll notice that there's going to be less and less. But what we're doing instead is we're trying to bring in youngsters from elsewhere that's going to block everything that Cobham's producing, because they're the ones that are going to get priority because we paid some sort of money for them. But we are going to have the immediate inclination of, no, we're gonna flip these lot. They're gonna come in, we're gonna play, use them, they're gonna have their values go up, we're gonna inflate that, and then we're going to flip, and then we're going to sell, and we're going to make our money that way. It's quicker. We don't need to wait for the kids to come through. We don't need to interfere with anything in terms of the first team. It's just in, out, boss, Bob's your uncle, thank you very much, money's coming in, don't need to interfere. Cobham, we can throw that away. Neil Bath and Jim Fraser have set out an entire plan. They've been part of the fabric for 30 years, and now they're heading out of the club, and it's pretty obvious why. Because they don't go in line with what's been happening. They don't. It doesn't match. It does. All these kids that we're signing from everywhere, and I said, it's too much. It's too much. This is why I'm screaming for balance. For us to go and get some actual pedigree, some experience into this team and balance these things out. Well, don't keep going and getting every single kid that you can find under the sun. And all that does is it blocks everything that Cobham can produce. These guys have been responsible for Cobham becoming one of the best academies in the world. And at one point, we weren't even bringing academy players through, if you remember. From the moment that we started paying attention and these guys started working, look at what they did. We don't operate on that level. So this is a huge loss. And you know why this is worrying? Because some people can say, well, no, don't worry, we can just go and get someone else and it's going to be okay. You just know we're going to go and get someone mediocre, aren't we? Some nobody that's going to come in and just, fill in the position. It's Cobham, we're not too bothered about it, don't worry. That's what I'm scared of. Because everywhere across the club, all I can see is mediocrity. That's all I can see. I'm here hoping for the best. I can't actually provide you with any sort of evidence to tell you guys it's going to be okay. If I could, I would. I can't. I'm just hoping. I'm on pure vibes for next season, especially with Maresca and all these players, these players that we're bringing in or that we're looking at, or still the age is really low. Like all of this, I'm hoping. I'm here just going, fingers crossed, Can you please help us? God, help us. That's what I can do. So when things like this happen, I'm seriously concerned. Seriously concerned. I'd want to say huge thank you to Neil Bath and to Jim Fraser for the job that they've done over the past 20 to 30 years. Incredible. And I think now we can officially say goodbye to everything that was Roman's Chelsea. Once and for all. And I think that's what they want. Deep down, I think that's what they want. So, let me know your thoughts down below on Neil Bath and Jim Fraser leaving Chelsea Football Club. Huge. Absolutely huge. Let's move to some of the other stories before we wrap up. Here's the latest from, funnily enough, Cobham. Enzo Maresca started work on Monday, but the sessions are believed to be informal fitness work as he settles into the new job. Of course, it's not even pre-season yet, so I understand. That would be the only thing expected in a session at the moment. But I have one question. Is Enzo Maresca real? Does he exist? Is he AI? Can we hear from him, please? Like, can we get a video from him or something? Can we get an interview? Something? He's at Cobham. He's not even been unveiled. I mean, what's going on? Is he AI? Is he not real? Has he been sacked already? Like, what's going... Come on. So, look, I'm looking forward to hearing what he's got to say. And his mindset and the way that he works. But he's at Cobham. Apparently he's working and we've still not even had an unveiling. So, we'll see what happens throughout the rest of this week. Into next week, maybe. I'm guessing it's going to happen. We'll see. let's shift attention across to elsewhere very quickly. Starting off with England. This is a follow-up from the thing from earlier on to, in video number 1. Here it is. So, Gareth Southgate, let's read this first, is considering a switch to a back three for England's Euro 2024 quarter-final against Switzerland on Saturday. That was from Matt Law. It is understood that Southgate has trialled a return to a back three in trialling this week in preparation for a game in which he will be forced to make at least one change in defence. Ezri Konsa is currently first in line to replace suspended Mark Gurhey, but it could be as part of a new look back three with John Stones in the centre and Kyle Walker on the right. And then goes on to clarify Konsa first in line to replace Gurhey, and England could move to a three at the back Saturday showdown. This one is very interesting. Like I mentioned earlier, I would be all for this if I had an inkling that we would be moving in an attacking sense, but I don't think Southgate's going to do that. And that's where this is probably going to make us defend even more. So we'll see what happens on Saturday, basically. But it's interesting to hear that we're going to start a new formation, it seems, but the system, I think, is going to remain the same. So am I optimistic? No. Is it something I do? Yes, if I had my way, but I'm not very optimistic as to how Southgate is going to execute. So we'll see. Let me know your thoughts on that one. Manchester United, to wrap up. Man United to make close to a quarter of its workforce redundant. Up to 250 employees to go after cost review. Money saved will go on the first team. PSR restrictions also impacted. This is funny because at face value, this isn't good. At face value, you go, what? How could you do that? You're gonna sack 250 employees? How could you? But then when you go and you look at apparently the hires that were made under the Glazers, apparently there was a lot of unnecessary hires and a lot of positions and a lot of people that just don't need to be there. So I'm not surprised after hearing this. When I first saw this, I was like, well, if it's based on what we've heard before, then it makes sense. That's got to be done. Which I feel like is probably what Chelsea are heading down. Chelsea, look, we've made positions up at this point. We've got 2 sporting directors. We've got, we've extended, I think, the amount of directors we have by about 10. You know what I mean? We're creating all sorts of role. I mean, look at the role that Sam Gill came into. I mean, it's just, we've made loads of hires. So I wouldn't be surprised if at some point Chelsea are going to end up like this too. But Manchester United, apparently this is what's going on, and I want to hear from Man United lot. Was this expected, or do you think this is extreme? I'd love to know. Much appreciated. Let me know down below. And big news coming out of Bayern Munich. João Palhinha to Bayern is a here we go. Deal approved on a fee around 50 million euros plus 5 million in add-ons. Palhinha will sign contract until 2028 at Bayern. He's been pushing for weeks for the deal to happen. Medical to be booked, then docs to be signed. Story confirmed. So that's a big one for Bayern Munich. I feel he's a good midfielder, and that's going to be a lot of money for Fulham. Was he signed permanently at Fulham? Or was he? He was, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, he was. He was. So that's going to be a lot of money for Fulham. A lot of money for Fulham, and a profit at the end of the day, because they bought him, I can see here, for 22 million euros, and they're selling him now for 50. So fair play, more than double. Happy days. And Bayern Munich, I feel like I've got themselves a good player here. So let me know your thoughts on that one. Much appreciated. And we'll wrap it there. Let me know on everything that happened with Chelsea today. Neil Bath, Jim Fraser, all your comments in the comments below. Much appreciated. And I will see all of you tomorrow for a brand new one, if not 2. So make sure you're subscribed, notification bell on. Don't forget to check out the second channel as well. Link in the description. Go and check out the new videos that are there. New one coming this weekend. You're going to like it. It's a different turn. It's a twist. So make sure you're there for that. And check out the socials on screen and in the description. And I'll see all of you tomorrow. Have a good one, people. In a bit. Take care and peace.